300 subs. I finally have gotten to 300 subs. And just like I promised, I'm gonna make you guys 2 reward videos. 2 of them. One of them is gonna come later down the road because it's a top 10 and I'm gonna have to work on putting things in order, but I tell you guys, it will come. It will come. This one I'm gonna be making here. This is actually a video. This is a similar video I did for my 200 subscriber special, and that is I'm gonna be reviewing the Season 8 episodes of SpongeBob, known as the vacation episodes. Yes, they're known as the vacation episodes. Now, if you guys don't know what these are basically episodes where each character takes a vacation somewhere, and it's kind of like Season 7's episodes, The Legends of the Bikini Bottom, but these are vacation episodes. Now, you guys know, like, I was not a fan of the Legend of the Bikini Bottom episodes. Those were mostly just boring and forgettable, and they didn't make much sense because, you know, there's already a lot of wacky stuff in SpongeBob as it is. But, I figured, you know, why not do Season 8 too, you know? I like it when this show, you know, experiments a little bit. It's actually pretty fun. That was actually one of the bright sides of Season 7. Even though those episodes were really bad, a lot of them were, or they were mediocre, at least, you know, Season 7 was still experimenting with stuff, you know, trying something new, you know, and all that. That's exactly what Season 8 did, too. So, yeah, this is going to be your reward videos for you guys, and all that. Now, before I get any further, I want to let you guys know that, unlike Season 7's, Legends of Bikini Bottom episodes, there will not be as many cards. Because, due to the stuff being on the phone, I don't want to take up too much space and all that. And although I'm going to delete some of the stuff, that means I have to show off more stuff on the phone and it takes up more space. So there will not be that. Also, another thing is, eventually I will have a reward video for you guys for 1,000 subs. That's going to be a big one. That'll be a big video for you guys when we get to 1,000 subs, or 1K, you know, whatever YouTube wants to call it, because I know I've been seeing the numbers and stuff changing and all that. Like, I don't know about the subscribers, but I know, like, the views and stuff now spell out the whole thing instead of just saying this K or this B or something like that, you know, because B's for billion. Because there are a few videos I've seen that have hit 1 billion views, which I didn't even know was possible, but, you know, because I guess there is a few billion people on the planet, so yeah, but there will be something big like that, and who knows, maybe I'll have some reward videos on our journey to 1K subs. My main goal down the road is to eventually hit 1 million subs. That's my final goal. It would be nice to have more subs like that after that, but I'd be satisfied with 1 million subs, you know. That'd make me feel satisfied. But thank you guys for the people who are supporting my channel and all that. I really appreciate that. Now I think I've kind of gone on a little bit long already. So, yeah, for people who are now tuning in, it would really help me if you guys would subscribe to my channel. And now let's go ahead and get into the video. Well, I guess I'll also say this too, that there will be no score sound effect either. I've already brought that up once in my Scooby-Doo review. You know, I brought that up, but I want to bring it up again just in case people are not a fan of Scooby-Doo and don't watch the reviews. So, I just want to bring that up. I'm wanting to get the score thing back, but, you know, and all that, but I haven't got that back yet, so, yeah. But anywho, let's go ahead and get into this. So So yeah, let's talk about each episode here and see how they stand compared to the Legends of the Bikini Bottom episodes. So the first one on the list is, for some reason, it's actually the last one that aired, like the air date, but for some reason, it's the first one, I believe, that's on there, I think. Because if you go on Paramount Plus, it's the first one that shows on there, so I don't know. But this one came out it came out in November 11th, 2011. If you guys look on the top there, that pink number, I purposely made it like that because what's strange about that was actually the last year where well, I guess there was 2012 too, but even then, 1 and 2 make 12. This is the last year where everything matched the number. This won't happen again for probably 100 years or so. Now, to be fair, technically 2011, obviously 2 and 0 and then 11, but a lot of people, when they mark stuff and all that, they usually just use the first two letters. The last two numbers on a date because, that's easier to keep track of, because a lot of things expire, and all that fast. So that's why this one's like that. I also wanted to bring up that I don't have access to Paramount Plus here, so I forgot that it's not available on the PlayStation 5 for some reason. Like, everything just, deleted or something. I'm not sure. So, yeah, I don't know what happened there, so I'm gonna have to get that fixed. So, that's why it just says Season 8 down here at the bottom. I forgot to bring that up, so. But, yeah, I just wanted to bring that up with the 11 too. And before I continue on, I also want to say that I remember that date because I remember, I had to go to school that day, and it's like, shoot, I want to be home. I want to be home so I can, take a picture and all that. I was like, I could just stay up late and do it later. And I did. I think I did. I don't have access to the photo right now, but I remember taking a photo and all that. I took a photo, but I stayed up till 11 o'clock and did it, and I remember that. But I remember, the 3DS and all that. Which I think actually it would have been the DSi at that time, because I didn't have access to the 3DS, but basically I took a picture, and because it's an army clock, didn't match it, it goes to 24 hours instead of, 12 hours. So, yeah, but it still was cool, but I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up because that was a special event for me. But anywho, let's go ahead and talk about the episode. I've been kind of going on talking about the other stuff, but not the episode. So this episode is about SpongeBob going on vacation with his family to, I guess, the Great Barrier Reef or something. I think that's what it is. It's been a while since we've seen SpongeBob's family. I kind of wish they would appear more often, honestly. They really don't appear that much in this show. They really don't. I think the biggest season they actually appeared was season 5. That was one highlight that everyone can agree with. I know people have different opinions on season 5, but that's one thing people seem to agree on, that season 5 did do a good job showing off SpongeBob's family, That was actually pretty cool. I even think so. Seeing SpongeBob's cousins and, parents, that's really cool. I don't know when they appeared again, but I know they haven't appeared for a long time because I know they appeared in the newer seasons because there's actually a clip. I don't remember what it was, but there was a clip where we do see them appear again. They look really weird with I think it's HD graphics or something. They look really weird. SpongeBob looks weird as it is, but they look weirder with that HD graphics. I think that's what it is. They look really weird, but they do appear. I don't know about SpongeBob's grandma because she was voiced by an old actor who retired from voicing. She's still alive. I looked her up on Google. She's still alive, but she's basically, I think, in her 90s now. So I'm not sure they replaced her or not, because down the road they did replace Merman Man Barnacle Boy with different voice actors in the Patrick Show. I guess they were younger versions of them, but still, they kind of, even their younger versions appeared and they didn't have voice actors, so I guess they have them doing voice actors. But But I don't know. But I'm not sure. But I do know SpongeBob's parents did appear down the road, so that's good. But anywho, I just wanted to say that before we start talking about the episode itself, we need to talk about how it starts. Apparently, each of these vacation episodes are showing slideshows of they're showing slideshows of images and stuff of the vacation episode, which is basically a theme they use. They start out with it and all that, and basically they end like the episode normally does. We don't even see the character it turn back to the characters, which is interesting. Usually when they do that kind of stuff, they usually have the characters it goes back to the characters after they're done telling the story or something. But the only one they don't do that with, I think, is Patrick's. Patrick actually breaks his his projector or something. But we'll get to that episode when we get to it. But anywho, yeah, SpongeBob apparently was lying to everyone, which doesn't feel like something he would do. I don't know why he would lie to them, but everyone was pissed off, which I don't blame them, because, Larry was showing up, he was showing up, and all that, because he wanted a weightlifting contest and stuff, and then, Mrs. Puff, I can't remember what I guess, basically, peace and quiet and stuff, which I liked her expression on that. She's she was out of all of them, she was thinking that was fake out of all of them. The way she was saying it is pretty funny, but the fact that SpongeBob lied to all his friends and stuff, I feel is out of character for him. I know he's lied before, but this just feels like him lying to all his friends and stuff. That just feels a little bit out of character. So I don't know, but I noticed too that speaking of characters like Larry and stuff, I noticed they started using him a lot more as the seasons go on, and I like that. Larry's a cool character. I love Larry. Larry's probably one of my favorite characters on the show. He's really good. He's voiced by Mr. Lawrence, who also voices Plankton, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so I just wanted to bring that up because every episode will do this. I don't know if I brought that up in the Mooncation episode that I did a review on, but yeah, that is a case. So anyway, let's go ahead and get back to the episode. So the episode apparently reveals Patrick apparently has an obsession with eating cheese. He's eating cheese out of a can or something. It looks like whipped cream or something, but it's cheese. It's kind of weird how he has an obsession with cheese. I think because he's excited to go on this trip or something. It's kind of weird, but they bring it up a few times and all that throughout the episode and stuff. But apparently SpongeBob and his parents arrive and then take Patrick with them and all that. I'm gonna say right now, I think Harold, which is SpongeBob's dad, I think his name's Harold. Seriously, what's with so many why don't you take it back? I guess there's not really that many Harolds now I think about it. I was thinking of Hugh, but because there are a few characters, dads that are named Hugh in cartoons, but I guess Harold is it's not really a common name, but basically Harold I feel like is kind of a little snippy in this this episode. At first he's telling he's got a grin on his face and he's telling his wife I know I'm right, and then at the end of the episode when Patrick and SpongeBob fall asleep, he's telling her that they're your son and stuff. So they make him kind of like an asshole in this show. This episode. They make him kind of an asshole, but I still don't think he's that bad of a character. I think he's still alright. I don't get why they make him such a jerk in this episode, but I don't know. He was kind of more of the moody guy throughout the show, but in appearances and stuff. But I don't know. But I do like how Tom Kenny voices him. Tom Kenny does a really good job voicing him. But yeah, but basically what happens is they go to the trip and they go on the trip and stuff, and I gotta say, this is probably my favorite part of the episode, I'm not gonna lie. Basically, Patrick plays hide and seek, somehow goes underneath the chair, and, the seat, and literally is on the front of SpongeBob's parents' on car, and basically, he causes them to crash, and they start rolling around. It's really funny. Like, one moment they're in the mall, and they're like on an escalator, and this one woman's like looking on the back of Patrick's butt crack. It's pretty funny. And then they win a race, and they fly into space, almost hit a freaking cow. Yeah, there's a freaking cow. I guess it's supposed to be a Hey Diddle Diddle reference or something, I'm not sure. I gotta say, I do like Hey Diddle Diddle, it's pretty fun. I like that book. I think it's supposed to be Hey Diddle Diddle reference. I don't know. I don't know where else the cow and the moon would come from. I don't know. But I guess in the world of SpongeBob, it can be, I guess anything could happen. But they end up like, apparently not crashing. They didn't break the car at all, and somehow Patrick ended up back in the seat, not injured. I don't know how the heck that's even possible. But again, this show, has fire underwater and stuff, so I guess at this point, I guess you shouldn't even question SpongeBob logic. But apparently they end up singing a song, which, honestly, the song, it's alright. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the biggest fan of the song. It's like the road song, but it's not awful, but I feel like again, it's just like, there's a lot better songs. Like, the first 4 seasons had really good songs, and then I feel like the songs kind of just took a nosedive as time went on. They really did take a nosedive. Season 5 had some good songs too, but a lot of them were not as good as seasons 4 and backwards, but it's still alright. But somehow their singing is what freaking blows the engine up. Then they end up in a freaking, a place where they meet a hillbilly-looking guy who I guess is supposed to fix the car or something. Apparently they start pushing the boat and stuff. I don't know why they don't freaking call someone to come freaking tow the freaking boat. I don't really get that. I would think they would at least, call someone to come get it. This show has phones in it, but I guess they don't end up calling it. Instead, they just push the boat. It is kind of funny seeing Patrick just pushing the air, though. It is kind of funny. That's something Patrick would do, Patrick's not, known for being the smartest character, so I don't know, but overall, I feel like a lot of it's kind of interesting and all that, and the first half is, yes, the first half. They end up in a park, and then they go down a slide, and then I thought the episode just takes a nosedive. I didn't mention that this episode is a two-parter. Yes, it's a two-parter. For some reason, it's the only vacation episode that's a two-parter. I don't get it. But yes, it's the only episode that's a two-parter, and apparently they end up in this wilderness-looking thing, which reveals down the road it's actually the Great Barrier Reef that they actually were at the whole time. And I feel like it just gets boring. It really does. It gets really boring as it goes on and all that. It looks cool. Seeing all the creatures and stuff, and there's a vending machine out of nowhere. Patrick somehow finds food there and all that. It looks good and all that. There are some interesting moments, but I just feel like it's just boring. It's not awful, but I kind of start losing interest when I get to the second half because there's not really much going on. There's not. There is this one moment where they go into a gift shop and all that, but there's really not much going on. It just feels kind of boring. Again, there's not much going on. They do run into this giant insect-looking thing, which again doesn't make sense because it's in the water, but again, I won't question that. There was a spider in one episode, but I mean, even in the Halloween episode in the first season. But I mean, at that point, the spider was at least wearing, a scuba mask. This thing is just in the water, just somehow breathing in it. But again, I shouldn't question SpongeBob logic. As long as it ain't cringe, I shouldn't care. But yeah, this giant bug just comes out of nowhere and all that, and it just seems kind of weird. But I mean, there are. I mean, the visuals look really nice and all that. But I just feel kind of bored. Like, you're not gonna really miss, besides the visuals and all that, you're not gonna miss much watching the second half. A lot of people I've seen review this episode seem to think the second half is better. My opinion, this is my opinion. You guys can say whatever you want. I don't care. But in my opinion, the second half is where it just nosedives. Like, the first half is actually really funny with the cow segment and all, and the road trip. The second half is just freaking boring and all that. It's just boring. I mean, it looks good and all, but it's just boring. I feel like it would have been much better if it just took place on the trip, like maybe in the car and stuff, and they had to find ways to entertain themselves. That would have been cool, but that's basically just part of the episode and all that. I mean, the second half doesn't begin until they actually go down the slide. So I don't know. I just think it's kind of boring. But I don't know. But I don't think I got much else to really say about the episode. I mean, if I do, I'm gonna be probably reviewing every episode down the road of SpongeBob. So I'll be talking about that. I'm just wanting to review some of these out of the way so I don't spend too much time reviewing a season down the road. So, but anywho, I'm going to go ahead and say this episode deserves a meh and 47 points. Yeah, this episode honestly barely cracks the bad, honestly. I mean, I would have gave it a little bit more, probably 60 points, but even the first half is it does drag a little bit, and SpongeBob, again, lying to his friends and all that, again, feels out of character and all that, and again, doesn't lead to really anything and all that. They could have just cut that whole thing out, and it wouldn't even change much, because they don't even bring it back in the episode. None of the vacation episodes do. They show the clips and all that, they show them, and, but they show the clips and stuff, at the beginning of the episode, but they don't ever bring it back up at the end, so I don't know what the point of it is. But yeah, I just find the whole second half boring. That's really what takes away from the episode. But it still looks really good, and I mean, it does look really good and stuff, but I just don't think you're gonna be missing much if you just skip the second half. But the first half is worth the watch. The first half is really funny and stuff, but otherwise it's not really much about it. It's kind of a shame they bring back SpongeBob's parents for an episode, but they barely do have anything to do with the episode and all that, so I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next episode, which is Patrick's Stay Vacation. This episode came out in November 8th, 2011. Now, here on out, these episodes with the date and the cards will basically have the normal, month and all that, instead of just the dates. I just wanted to make it kind of cool looking and all that, kind of like I did in elementary school and all that, so, yeah. But anywho, so Patrick's Stay Vacation is about a Patrick, I'm gonna go jump right into this because there's not really much to this episode either, but Patrick basically is, I guess, for some reason he's just bored or something, I don't know, he's basically just tired of eating and sleeping on, basically doing nothing, he's just tired of doing nothing, and he just wants he needs a vacation or something. Like, I don't really get, I mean, I guess some people don't really get it because Patrick, again, doing nothing is basically his hobby and all that, and that's kind of what people do on vacation, they just relax, but I mean, I guess it makes sense because people can get bored just sitting there doing nothing and all that. So, I mean, that's why some people need to get out of the house. But the fact that it's a stay vacation, I feel like it would make more sense for Patrick to get out of the house, not to be in the house. Like, that's the thing. It doesn't make really much sense. It doesn't make much sense at all. It just feels like, again, like I feel like it would have made more sense maybe if he went to a picnic, or maybe SpongeBob took him to a carnival or something. I don't know. They could have gone to Glub World. I don't know. It just feels like it doesn't make much sense for Patrick to be. Again, he's bored of doing the same thing all the time. You think they would have had him, go out or something, but I don't know. Basically, this episode though is basically just a whole lot of nothing. It really is. Like, basically, the whole joke of the episode is Patrick just taking advantage of his friend and all that. And I mean, some people really hate that part of the episode, but personally, Patrick's done a whole lot worse. I mean, he's in Pet Center Pat. That episode is freaking awful, and Patrick is basically abusing Gary. Patrick just basically is just not. He's just bored of his friend. Like, his friend's trying to entertain him, cook food for him and all that, and rearrange his furniture and stuff, and Patrick is just bored of it. He's just making things complicated. But again, Patrick said a whole lot worse. This episode is just nothing. That's the thing. That's basically how I describe it. It is just nothing. There's just nothing about it that's really interesting. I mean, at one point, Mr. Crab does come out of nowhere and charges SpongeBob for cooking a Krabby Patty. Yes, he cooks a Krabby Patty. And I know some people might find that kind of annoying because, Mr. Krabs again just comes out of nowhere to charge SpongeBob for making a Krabby Patty. But honestly, at this point, I kind of get it. I kind of get why Mr. Krabs would charge, SpongeBob for that, because, I mean, think about it. Like, let's say if you're an employee at a McDonald's or something, and you basically make someone food. I mean, I'm pretty sure your boss is kind of gonna be kind of upset about that. But again, the fact that he comes out of nowhere, I don't know, it just feels like it doesn't make sense. But again, I mean, how many times have the policemen and women just come out of nowhere and freaking arrest people in this show? I don't know. But again, there's just not really a whole lot. Patrick eventually gets bored and basically trespasses in Squidward's property. Squidward needs to freaking lock his doors. Like, I don't know why he doesn't lock his doors. I mean, now the times that SpongeBob and Patrick freaking break into his property, you think he would lock the freaking doors, but I guess not. I mean, we see Squidward has keys and stuff, so you think he would lock the door, but I don't know. I mean, Mr. Krabs even broke into his house at one point in time, and you think he would have a freaking door locked or something. I mean, when I go to bed, I lock my doors and all that, so I don't know. But anywho, apparently basically he eats Squidward's food and all that, because we gotta have some Squidward, torture kind of just making Squidward miserable and all that, because that's what the current seasons feel like they do. Even now, a lot of the jokes run around Squidward getting beat up. At least season 10. I don't know about season 11 and 12 and 13, because I haven't seen a lot of those episodes, but I do know they kind of made a lot of jokes about Squidward getting beat up, which I don't find funny, but maybe some people do, I don't know, but I mean, apparently SpongeBob ends up giving Squidward a massage while he gets tired, goes home, and Patrick's in his bed, so Patrick freaking basically steals his home. And I mean, we get one funny moment where SpongeBob ends up at Mr. Krabs' place, and apparently this is a recurring thing, so I guess it's kind of funny. But otherwise, again, there's not much about this episode that really is to go back to. There really isn't. There's just not much. So I'm going to go ahead and probably just give this a score, because I don't have much else to say. So yeah, this is definitely getting a bad and definitely 10 points. yeah, what can I say about this episode? I mean, I kind of rushed through it, but again, there's not really a lot to freaking talk about. At least the last one I talked about, at least there was something about it. I mean, the visual and stuff. This episode just takes place in freaking Patrick's Rock. Just freaking boring. I mean, I get what the writers were wanting to do. I get that. I get what they were wanting to do, but I just find it again. I find it freaking, boring and stuff, I mean, there's not a lot going on and stuff, and it doesn't make sense why Patrick would want to stay home anyway, because he's getting bored just doing the same thing all the time. I mean, I guess they do say that if you're bored doing the same thing, you can try to do different things, but again, I think for me at least, I think it makes more sense to get out of the house, and do something, I mean, I know Patrick and SpongeBob did get kicked out of, this one place, but SpongeBob could have taken them to a picnic at a park or something. I don't know, just do something different. But I don't know, but I mean, again, this episode's not cringe or anything, but again, the reason why it's getting such a low score is because, again, there's not anything to go back to. I mean, so Patrick kind of, treating his friend like garbage is kind of frustrating. Again, it's not the worst thing he's done, but, I mean, there's even one episode in Season 7 I didn't mention where he basically steals a freaking toy from SpongeBob and all that and basically eats it, but it's still frustrating. It still makes me not want to watch this episode, but, yeah, for me, there's just nothing to really go back to here. There's just nothing really to go back to. But I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and probably move on from this episode. I mean, maybe some people might find some humor out of it, but I don't find any humor out of it. Anywho, we're going to go ahead and go to the next episode. Now, this one, honestly, this one is actually a little bit more enjoyable to watch. I'm not going to lie. This one is basically about Mr. Krabs and basically getting a free cruise to a boat and all that, which I'm not gonna lie, I kinda wish I could get a free cruise to a ship. I mean, you know how much those things can freaking cost? Mr. Krabs is lucky to get a free cruise and all that. Mr. Krabs basically goes on a free cruise and all that, and but he goes on a free cruise and basically, SpongeBob has to tag along because he has to bring SpongeBob with him. I kind of like to have Squidward go along too, because I mean, Squidward doesn't even appear in this episode at all. He's basically absent, so I don't know, but yeah, they go on a vacation, and basically Plankton is scheming to steal a formula. Karen's basically not trusting him and all that, and I know some people might get drawn down by their relationship because it is kind of cringe, especially in the dark age of SpongeBob, which was seasons like, I mean, they do kind of make it better, I think, as the show goes on, but it does get really bad as like season 6 through 8, it does get kind of bad. But the fact that, again, Plankton's just using Karen, for a vacation, so that's make me feel kind of bad for Karen, but I do like some of the gags that they have them, they like one, he's like, basically falls down someone's pants, which is pretty funny. It's kind of a little gross, but it's kind of funny. Then, like, one, he gets cut in half, and then there's a bunch of gags that happens. It is kind of funny, and at one point he dresses up as a person, and I guess Mr. Krabs is freaking trying to scam this guy for like $100 for a Krabby Patty. I mean, you think maybe he knows that it's Plankton, but he doesn't know it's Plankton. He doesn't know. But he doesn't know it's Plankton and all that, but yeah, he still tries to scam him. Shows you how great of a person Mr. Krabs is for freaking scamming someone for a burger. I wouldn't pay $100 for a freaking burger. I wouldn't do that. But yeah, apparently Plankton would have won. Then Karen comes out of nowhere and all that, and basically he runs into her and all that. So, and she's upset, and basically, yeah, honestly, it basically ends exactly how you think it's gonna end. Basically, Karen's heartbroken, and Plankton basically, is a big jerk to his wife and stuff. So, yeah, honestly, I mean, you would think maybe that would be bad, but Plankton does kind of get his comeuppance, honestly, in a way. Basically, Karen turns on her happy mode and basically freaking lasers the whole ship, splitting it in half, and basically lasers him while they're like swimming off. So yeah, there's not really a lot to talk about in this episode either, but I gotta say, this one's definitely a lot better. I feel like, I mean, again, it's a typical Plankton stealing the formula episode. We've seen those a lot, but I feel like some of the gags are kind of funny and all that, and I like how it's on a cruise ship. We don't see that too much. I mean, we've seen an episode like in season 3 with Clams where Mr. Krabs on a ship, but it's not like a cruise ship and all that. This one's actually a cruise ship. It looks really cool. But I don't know, yeah, but I do feel bad for Karen and all that. I do feel bad for her. She really wants her husband to love her, and he just takes advantage of her all the time. And yes, it does get, like I said, it gets really bad at this time, but I don't know if I have much to really say about it, so I'm gonna go ahead and just give this a score because I'm kind of ready to move on from this episode. So this one's getting a meh and 58 points. Yes, this one is much better than the other ones I reviewed so far. I like this one a lot more. It honestly would have gotten a good. Like, I think it would have got a good, like, if Plankton actually apologized to Karen and all that, and he made up for what he did and all that, but it just ends with Karen going chaotic mode and basically, splitting the ship in half, which, by the way, was funny. It was funny, but, like I said, it just made Plankton deserve what he got for, treating him like crap, but still, I just feel bad for, Karen and all that. And yeah, Plankton has, even in, like, the first 5 seasons, Plankton was like this with Karen, but, like, one point in time, he turned Karen into a baby and stuff, but I never thought, like, it was this cringed, but I don't know. I mean, this episode still is alright. I still think and there are some jokes that are funny, and like I said, Plankton gets split in half trying to kill Mr. Crab Guy. He was trying to freaking kill him. He was just tired of getting the formula, just wanted to freaking kill him, so yeah, it was pretty funny, and seeing that realistic looking, like submarine, that's like a submarine, I think, screenshot they showed. I don't think that was actually a real ship. That was actually a submarine. That makes it really, enjoyable. I actually like it when the show does that. It shows realistic stuff, because personally they kind of went, after the first 3 seasons, I think they kind of went away from that. So seeing that kind of stuff again is kind of cool. But otherwise, yeah, there's really not a lot to this episode either. And again, like I said, if it wasn't just about Plankton, getting the formula, or if it was, and he apologized and made up for, I probably would definitely give this a good, and it probably would have got a really high score, but otherwise, it's definitely getting a 58 and a meh. But now let's go ahead and move on to an episode I reviewed in the past, known as Mooncation. Now, this episode I talked about a couple years ago. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail because I already reviewed this once and all that, and with me, probably going to be reviewing this episode again when I do the seasonal reviews down the road, because I'm just doing this because, not only is it kind of cool to talk about these episodes separately, but also not only I'm talking about them separately, but it'll make the season reviews not as long, because some of these will get long. I mean, if you guys watch Pie Guy's reviews, they're definitely long. But anywho, this episode, basically is, SpongeBob and Sandy basically going to the moon, basically similar to Sandy's rocket, only basically in Sandy's rocket, they don't actually go to the moon until the end, where they get stranded, but This episode, honestly, I don't know which one's better, this one or Sandy's Rocket. Well, basically both start off similar to each other, but, basically they, like where they, SpongeBob rings the doorbell and a rocket appears. I'm pretty sure it's the same rocket to Sandy used. It looks very similar. But, I don't know, I think the first one may be better. I don't know, they're both pretty good. But the first one, they have some problems with it because they do kidnap people and stuff, but I don't know. I have to watch that episode again. I have not seen it in a long time. Neither this one. Actually, all these vacation episodes I have not seen in a long time. This one was actually the one I've seen more recently, which was like 2 or 3 years ago, so it was still a long time ago. Back in 2021. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's really much I need to add to it. I guess I could add the part where SpongeBob goes to this place where he gets a cake and all that. He gets a cake, and this guy's just freaking grumpy. This guy's a freaking jackass to SpongeBob. Like, he's just like come on, he makes Squidward look like he's freaking innocent. I mean, we know why Squidward's kind of, grumpy at work because, Mr. Krabs and stuff, I mean, who wouldn't be grumpy being around a boss like Mr. Krabs, who takes advantage of his employees and all that, like forcing them to pay for breathing and all that, and forcing them to basically, like, driving them to strike and all that, so who wouldn't blame, that, but I don't know, but this guy's just freaking, SpongeBob's just trying to find a cake, and so this guy's being a freaking dick to him and all that. I don't get why that's a running theme in this show, but, like, there's so many people, like, in this show are just freaking grumpy with their jobs. Like, it's just crazy. And all this crazy. I know there's some people out there that don't like the jobs they have, but this show, like, does this all the time. Like, even at Nightlight, there's, like, this gal who just seemed annoyed and stuff and all that. I don't know. It just seems kind of weird how it's like a running theme. But, I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up because I don't think I brought that up the last time. But I don't know if I have really much else to say about the episode, so I'm going to go ahead and just say the score here. This one I'm still giving it the same score I did the last time. It's still getting a good and 100 points. I do love this episode. It's still really good. It's really good episode. I still think, again, it would have been nice to have, the characters and in on the moon a lot longer. That would have been cool, but otherwise it's not that bad. And actually, I'm not sure, but I think they might actually use realistic visuals of the moon. I'm not sure. They look more realistic, and I kind of like that. I thought that's something they kind of abandoned as the show went on. They kind of abandoned the realistic feel, because that's one charm of the first 3 seasons had, I'm not sure about season 4 and 5. I haven't paid close attention to that stuff, but I don't remember seeing a whole lot of stuff like that. Where they show like realistic visuals and stuff, or settings, but I don't know. I mean, they do go on land quite a bit, but otherwise they kind of just don't have those gags and stuff in here. But I don't know. But yeah, the moon definitely looks a lot more realistic. You can still tell it kind of looks fake. It looks blurry and stuff, but I don't know. But yeah, I gotta say, I still think the same way I did before. I don't think there's really that many reviews I've done where I've regretted there's been a few where I've kind of regretted giving it a certain score, but most of the time I usually agree with what I said in old videos, but I don't know. Yeah, this is definitely one of the better episodes from this season in general. This season has good episodes, but this is one of the better ones, definitely. Because some of them that are even good, I don't think really hold up that well. But this one feels like something that could have came out in the earlier seasons of how good it is. But I don't know. But I'm gonna go ahead and move on though, because I've already talked about this episode, and I want to save some more details down the road if I can remember. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the last episode, which is Mr. Krabs Takes a Vacation. Mr. Krabs Takes a Vacation. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, this episode is freaking boring. Like, my god, this is probably the most boring of all the freaking vacation episodes. This one is freaking boring as hell. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Basically, the whole point of the episode is Mr. Krabs is shutting down the restaurant for a couple days, or something like that, and Squidward's happy about this, and then, of course, we gotta reveal Patrick, and all that, because, we gotta have Squidward torture moments again, they kind of did this in the earlier seasons, too, but they didn't feel as cringe as it does in the later seasons, but I don't know, but yes, apparently SpongeBob is going along, so Squidward doesn't have to deal with SpongeBob, but has to deal with Patrick, so, yeah. I don't know why they have to show that. That makes it kind of, I feel it makes me feel bad for Squidward, but I don't know, but anywho, basically, yeah, this episode is just freaking boring. It's boring and frustrating. Yes. While the other episode that I talked about that was boring, the Patrick vacation episode, that one was boring. That one wasn't as frustrating. That was more boring and frustrating. This one is both frustrating and freaking boring. So, it's one thing that's frustrating about this episode is freaking Pearl. I don't know why they do this, but with Pearl, she's freaking just a freaking drama queen. I never thought Pearl was my favorite character in the show. I always thought she was, I heard she was Steven Hillenburg's favorite character. And that's fine, he can like it. But for me, I just think she's just freaking a brat. She's just a freaking brat who freaking bitches and moans and all that. And apparently she hates freaking SpongeBob now. And thinks he's annoying. Despite, she thought she was annoying in some episodes in the earlier seasons, but she still had this bond with him and all that. Now she just freaking despises him. She just freaking thinks he's annoying and stuff. And I don't get it. I don't freaking get why that is. But yeah, Pearl's never been my favorite and all that. And she has hardly anything to do with the damn episode. They could have taken her out of it. But I don't know. But Mr. Krabs basically his vacation, he goes to the freaking bank. And there literally is freaking nothing that's really interesting about the episode. There's a few few gags here, Mr. Krabs is, a light bulb, his eyes blow up and they turn to light bulbs and stuff. But again, otherwise there's really nothing really, interesting about the episode. That's a few gags and stuff, but it spends most of the time just showing a freaking tour of, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of tour episodes are usually not the greatest. Johnny Test did this too, where it just felt really boring and stuff, but I would like for them to make an interesting episode about this. I think SpongeBob did this in season 5 too with the Lantha Scorpantus and all that, but that was a special and all. This is just a normal episode and stuff, and if you compare this to the others, yeah, it's just it's not really that interesting. It could be interesting, but we've already seen Mr. Krabs' obsession with money multiple times before. It's nothing new, but it really is nothing new. It's just freaking boring because they basically do nothing with it. Basically it's just showing the audience how they freaking make the money and just Mr. Krabs getting into trouble and all that, and I don't know, there's just freaking nothing about it, honestly. Eventually the guy named Bill, yeah, that's his name, Bill, basically, gets annoyed with them and all that. He's a tour guy, and then, once again, he doesn't feel happy about his job either. Again, that's a trend with this show for some reason. No one seems to be happy about their jobs. And then he gets the guards to kick him out. Apparently they got kidnapped by criminals. Which, by the way, this is probably my favorite part of the episode. Mr. Krabs goes freaking, kicks their butt and all that, and they get arrested. I just like how the cops are like, yeah, that was easy. Like as they fall through the roof of the car. But again, otherwise it's just boring. It's just, again, in this episode, it's just freaking boring. There really isn't much going on. There's a lot more episodes that are a lot better that focus on Mr. Krabs and money in other episodes. This one's just freaking boring. Maybe some people might like it, like for banks and stuff, but I don't care about, seeing how money's made and all that, and all that, and it takes forever for them just to get there. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, apparently Pearl is honestly just shows up at the end and all that and basically steals Mr. Krabs' freaking money. Because Mr. Krabs basically gets eliminated and dollars with him and SpongeBob's face on it. And Pearl basically steals their money and all that, and basically, I guess, for ruining her vacation and stuff and all that. I mean, I guess maybe it kind of makes sense and all that, because, her vacation... But it's not like Mr. Krabs didn't say where they were going and stuff and all that, and, But they didn't say that, and, I don't know, again, they basically reveal Pearl basically maxed on Mr. Krabs' card out, too, so Pearl basically freaking... she's just a spoiled brat. That's what she is. She's a freaking spoiled brat. And again, she can be interesting at times, but a lot of times she's just freaking spoiled and all that. It just makes me frustrated. But I don't know. But yeah, I just think this episode, again, is just boring. I actually feel bad for Mr. Krabs at the end for losing his money and all that. Because again, he didn't do a whole lot to Pearl to make him lose that money. He didn't do a lot. But I guess in the slideshow segment, I guess he's happy, so maybe he got the money back. I don't know. It's maybe possible because he probably could have just maybe traded his dollars in or something for that. I don't know, but still, I just still feel bad for Mr. Krabs because Mr. Krabs really Mr. Krabs really didn't do a whole lot this episode to really deserve what happened at the end. Besides, again, maybe ruining Pearl's vacation, but again, it's not like he said where they were going and all that. And I guess it makes sense because you want to please your family and stuff. You want to take your family to some place they all like, But I don't know. I just find it kind of annoying. But I don't know. But yeah, this episode, again, is just freaking bad and all that. And speaking of bad, yeah, this episode is definitely getting a bad and 5 points. Yeah, I said it. Yep, this is probably my least favorite of the episodes. Of the, vacation episodes in this show. Because this is the last one that there is. Sadly, we don't get one from Squidward, because I guess the writers, they probably were like, we gave Squidward a vacation episode in the last season or something, why don't we need one this season? Either that, or they probably just didn't care about Squidward, except at this moment, they're still Squidward torture episodes and stuff, and they still torture Squidward, so, I don't know. It would have been nice to have a Squidward episode, but I'll get to probably that in a second. But yeah, I just want to, before I do that, I want to bring up, yeah, this is basically, this is definitely my least favorite, though. With the Patrick episode, at least, there's some interesting stuff about it and all that. This one's just mostly boring and stuff. Without the cop segment, I probably would have just not even watched. There wouldn't be nothing about the episode that's really worth it. Because we've even seen Mr. Krabs, gags where he his eyes change and all that all the time. So I don't know. But but for these vacation episodes, I gotta say, they are interesting. Not gonna lie, they are interesting. I know, I kind of rushed through some of them, but some of them, again, there's not a whole lot to talk about with them. There's not a whole lot to them, and all that. Some of them there is stuff to talk about, but a lot of them, yeah, there really isn't. But I think it's time I go ahead and, before I talk about the whole thing as a whole, I think it's time I give this a score, because I gave the last set a score. So this is going to get a meh and 46 points. I probably should have went with a different color, honestly. I probably maybe should have done blue for Squidward and all that, because he didn't have a vacation episode, but I already had all this, made and stuff, but yeah, I think 46 points is definitely a good score for this. I will say that the episodes are a lot more interesting than in the Legend of the Bikini Bottom episodes. Those were mostly forgettable and all that, and they were not just forgettable, but they were unnecessary because we've already seen a lot of like weirder stuff in the show. I mean, SpongeBob has the Flying Dutchman, and they have monsters appear all the time on the show. We have season 5, they literally go down in like 20,000 patties under the sea. They literally go down in a trench where they see a giant monster, so it's really, uncommon and stuff. I mean, I think it would have made more sense if those episodes maybe, had, or based, like poking fun at, horror movies or something, I don't know, but otherwise, like I said, they weren't really that, interesting. These ones, at least, they're a lot of them are forgettable too, but at least they're more, they seem more interesting and stuff, like they can do more with them, and they seem more necessary. But I just wish that they had more to them, And again, I wish Squidward had a freaking, episode dedicated to him too, But I don't know. I brought this up before in my review of Sandy's vacation episode called Mooncation, but I don't know, but basically, yeah, this episode is just, these episodes are just, most of them are alright. There's like 2 bad ones, but some of the other ones are at least watchable at times, but I wouldn't watch most of these probably that much, just because they're not that interesting. But I don't know, but yeah, I think definitely giving them a meh is alright. Now I want to go ahead and say some stuff though when I was watching the episodes. One thing I want to mention is I still think, like I said this is a family vacation episode where we see SpongeBob's parents and stuff. That one I don't really get why they made it a 2-part episode. I don't get it. I guess they maybe made it because of the road and stuff and all that, but I thought they probably could have, maybe they could have, like, I don't know, maybe they could have, maybe chopped it up into pieces or something. Maybe instead of it being, like, a 22-minute episode, maybe it could have been, like, maybe a 16 or 15-minute episode or something. I don't know. Maybe they could have done that instead of, like, dragging it out for 22 minutes. Then we could have had a short episode with Squidward in it. I don't know. Or they could have used that and made they could have used that and maybe made Sandy's episode more longer, because again we could have more time with the moon and stuff. I don't know. I just feel like they could have done a whole lot more. I don't know. And then they could have they could have had maybe they could have had I don't know, Squidward's episode be a little bit could have had maybe it be a 22-minute episode. That way they don't have to fill in the blanks. Again, there's so much that they could have done here. I feel like, they're still interesting episodes. Most of them are. Again, there's a couple that were forgettable, but another thing I want to point out is that, I noticed, every episode has, a vacation name in it, or something like that. Mooncation is basically, Sandy going to the moon combined with vacation. Mr. Crab takes a vacation, the family vacation, then Patrick's Day vacation and all that. But for some reason, Plankton's vacation is basically it's just called walking the plankton. Personally, in my opinion, I didn't bring that up. I forgot to bring that up when I was talking about the episode, but I don't really get why they called it that. I guess it's supposed to be a throwback to Walking Small from season 1, but honestly, it just makes the title sound really horrible and all that. It really does. It makes it sound very cringe. I don't know why they just don't call it like Plankton and Karen take a cruise, vacation or something. I don't know why they just don't call it that. Like, especially since every other episode in this, this trilogy here, has something to do with a vacation in the title, I don't know. But I mean, the title again is cringe, but I still, like I said, the episode was still decent and all that, but I don't know. But these episodes are definitely interesting, and I kind of wish they would have brought back this trend down the road or something. Like, maybe we could have had a trilogy where we see characters' backstories. That would have been kind of cool. I mean, we already had one with Mr. Krabs and Plankton as kids, but maybe they could have had this again. But maybe they could have had Plankton and Mr. Krabs. Maybe they could add more to it or something. I don't know. That would have been kind of cool. But instead of maybe doing a Camp Coral thing, because that's supposed to be a whole nother thing, I think they stated that Camp Coral, I believe, is another SpongeBob universe, because they have like an episode, I think, where they cross over and stuff, but I don't know. But it still would have been cool to maybe see SpongeBob's backstory and all that, maybe Plankton's and Sandy's and all that would have been kind of cool, but I don't know. But that would be kind of cool to see a backstories of these characters, especially since we're now in the 13th season and stuff. And I think we're getting ready to go into the 14th season, I think season 13's almost done. That would be cool to see, but maybe we'll get it down the road. I don't know, but I would have liked them to bring back this stuff, because even though this stuff, these episodes, a lot of them are forgettable or bad, at least, it's something new and fresh, I'm not saying they can't do the same thing. I mean, it can work, but I feel like sometimes it's nice to see something new, to watch the show, and all that, and see something new. Sometimes, though, these episodes, if they repeat too much of it, then, yeah, it basically gets very stale and boring at times, but I don't know. But anywho, I feel like I've said a lot about these episodes. I said this before, I'll say it again. If I miss anything down the road that I want to point out, I'll point it out down the road. Because I will be coming back to these episodes when I do the seasonal review down the road. But it's going to be a little while because I still want to edit my videos and stuff. But I hope you guys enjoyed these reviews. If you guys want to tell me in the comments below what you guys think about these episodes, you guys can if you guys want. I don't really care, I'm actually interested to see what people think about these episodes. Personally, I think a lot of them are mediocre. I think there was only one good that I mentioned, but again, even the ones that are meh are still watchable. They're just not that interesting, or they're not as good as others. But anywho, I'll see you guys next time. Stay terrific. Bye bye.